Hey, my name is Marshall Hitipeuw. I'm the Marketing, Content, and Conversion Officer for Staffordshire University London, and I found my job through Hitmarker. I work at Staffordshire University London as the Marketing, Content, and Conversion Officer. That's a bit of a mouthful. And my role really encompasses a lot of the marketing activities of a typical university. Although our university isn't typical, we are a specialized university in the UK focusing on degree plans in esports, cybersecurity, and computer games design in 2020, with more to come in 2021. My role is, like I said, very traditionally, it's rooted in traditional marketing, which means I do anything from content production, setting a content calendar, managing email communications, managing a budget, and really running any one-off marketing projects or longer-term marketing projects with other people on my team. This is my first full-time role in gaming and esports, first time actually being paid a salary to work in gaming. Before this, I was using my marketing degree to work for different startups in very much like a content marketing role, or kind of like a marketing officer role, similar to what I'm doing now, but a bit more digitally focused. And although I like the work, I've always been a huge fan of gaming and esports in general. I think the first time I heard about esports was back in the MLG Black Ops 2 days, where I really started watching it on Twitch and on YouTube. But it wasn't until the Smash documentary came out that I really got involved on a personal level with esports, both like playing a title and then working more behind the scenes. But a lot of the work I was doing back then was for free. I was volunteering, I was casting, I was doing tournament organizing, pool captain, really whatever could help run the tournament while I was in school. That was all volunteer work. And I really loved doing it, but at that time it wasn't something I saw myself doing for my career, because it was more of a dream, right? It was more of, oh, maybe one day in the future I'll do that, and I'll probably just work a more traditional marketing role, which is what I did for a while, until last year. Was it last year? Sorry, I'm just asking my wife for the time. It was really last year when we moved over to the UK from Houston, Texas, where I really went all in on looking for a job in the gaming and esports space. And that's kind of when I made the transition over. I first found out about Hitmarker probably 3 years ago, when I first knew that you could even get a job in esports. I simply Googled esports jobs in the US. At the time I was looking in the US. And it was Hitmarker and a couple other sites that were advertising jobs in esports. But it was really Hitmarker that had all of the different roles in one place, which made the process much simpler. One of the main things I learned through looking for a job in esports was just how hard and demanding job hunting can be. It's very much an active, difficult process. Like I had to quit my job to actually look for a job in the space and be effective at it, right? It was long days. I would be working right on crafting applications, looking for different roles, probably like 5 to 6 hours a day when I was really being successful. And it was very much a process, right? From applying to every single job and just getting rejected from every single one, to eventually figuring out what jobs I was good for, right? Merging both what I wanted to do professionally and what I actually had the skills to do to find the roles that fit me as a professional. That was definitely a long process, and something I didn't know was going to be as difficult as it was. So one of my strategies while I was looking for a job, after that initial process of figuring out exactly what jobs were right for me, was starting to create content around my journey through this process. I moved from Houston, Texas to the UK to really look for a job in esports. And at the time, I mean, and it still is, it was pretty novel, and I felt like it was something worth writing about. So I started almost like a professional diary series about that on LinkedIn, and just posted weekly about my experiences in esports, what types of roles I was looking for, what obstacles I was running into. And I feel like that was a really good way for me to own a part of the process. So much of job hunting is rejection, and it's in the hands of others. That for me, writing a blog was a way to control some of the narrative, right? It was a way to really take matters into my own hands. I'm really lucky to be fully employed in esports and have a paycheck. I know that that's rare for the industry, because so many of my friends are putting in full-time hours just on a volunteer basis, or are trying to build something on their own with the hopes of getting funding in the future. So I think I'm in a really lucky position there. My goal at the outset of this entire job hunt was just to be gainfully employed in esports. It was a very broad goal, and I would say my goal right now is still very broad. I want to be working in esports for the next 10 years. What I learned early on in my time volunteering in esports, specifically in the Smash scene, was I'm a big fan of seeing the industry responsibly grow, and esports and gaming culture in general becoming more widely accepted. And I really enjoy having a hand in that process. And I think working at a university where we're producing the next generation of the gaming industry, really the people behind the scenes, is one of the best places that I can use my skills, because I think it does achieve that goal. So I'm quite happy to see our students, right, gaining the skills in production, gaining the skills behind the camera, but also in front of the camera, engaging in really interesting conversations and thought-provoking topics about gaming and about esports. I'm really happy where I am in London right now. And I think it's only up from here for esports and for me, really.